The Charlotte Hornets lose a tough one in Minnesota. Let's go, YouTube. Sports is life. 365. Welcome back to the Sports is Life podcast. Charlotte Hornets fans, the Charlotte Hornets lost a tough one tonight. Please hit that like button and subscribe. The Hornets dropped a tough one, 126-120 in OT to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It looked like they had this one in hand. After a tough first quarter, they came back in the second, took a 11-point lead into the third quarter, was up by double digits going into the fourth quarter, and then they let the Timberwolves come back. They let Cat get hot, Karl Anthony Towns. He started hitting some threes. The Hornets missed a couple free throws down the stretch. LaMelo Ball missed a technical free throw. Bridges missed free throw with 9 seconds left. That could have put them up by one. They went into OT and the Timberwolves caught fire. You know, what really sticks out to me tonight was actually Mason Plumlee's best game as a Hornet. He was incredible. I believe he had 14, 17, and 9. He played well on offense. He grabbed some rebounds. Defense, again, that's not going to be his forte, but he really played well. Again, what really stuck out to me, though, is James Borrego always makes these comments. Last game, JT Thor played really well. James Borrego goes into the post game and says, "Oh, he's on my radar. I got to get him some more playing time." So this game comes around. What happens? Dogfight in the first quarter. He puts in this defensive lineup of Plumlee, Harrell, JT Thor, Terry Rozier, and LaMelo Ball. As soon as JT Thor gets in, he gets a block, throws the ball up the court. They get a dunk going the other way. Charlotte starts playing well. It's not a fluke that when they play defense is when they play well. When they play defense this year, holding teams to less than 110 points overall, they're 16-2. When they allow teams to score more than 120 points, they've lost every single game. They're not a good high-scoring team. They can score a lot of points, but they don't play any defense. Playing defense is going to be the path forward for this team, and that's what Mitch Kupchak is going to have to do in the offseason. He's a conservative GM. He's going to have to shake up this team. The pieces are just not right. They just don't fit together. Gordon Hayward should not be relying on a player that's only going to play 50 games a year. He's never going to be this veteran you can rely on in the playoffs because he's never going to get to the playoffs healthy. That's just the case. He's a nice guy. But he's an injury-prone player, and you shouldn't be counting on injury-prone players giving them max money. That's just not the way forward. So at the end of this year, Mitch Kupchak is going to have to try to get off of Gordon Hayward's contract. Getting back to the game, during the second quarter, when James Borrego had JT Thor in, Charlotte was playing some really good defense, getting up and down the court. Ball threw him a nice alley-oop. You need more players like that. More players that are athletic, that can play with LaMelo Ball, and that can get easy points where it's just not, everything's just not a jump shot. Everything is just not a three-point shot. It was another tough shooting game for them. They shot 40% from the field, but they had every opportunity to win this game. They went up 9 into halftime, was up by 11 going into the fourth quarter, and then they just let it all go. That was a key opportunity to get JT Thor back in the game. JT Thor ended up, as much as he played in the second quarter, he ended up only playing 11 minutes. That is unacceptable. If you're going to lose, if you're going to be a 10 seed and lose and maybe not even get into the play-in game, you got to play these rookies. You got to play James Bouknight, you got to play JT Thor, and you got to play Kai Jones. You got to see what you have. Because if you see what you have and you play them, at least they'll have had some playing time that they can go into the next year and be comfortable with playing with Ball, playing with Rozier, and from what I've seen, the Hornets are going to have to really think about re-signing Montrezl Harrell. He's been outstanding. He plays with energy. He plays with ferocity. He plays with toughness. And that's something that the Hornets need a lot of right now. They need a lot of it. But in this game, Karl Anthony Towns got hot. He got hot. They were playing in Minnesota, so he got every single foul call. Every type of bump, touch, they sent him to the foul line. I believe he went to the foul line 17 times. It was like 15 out of 17. That's another thing that the Hornets don't do well. They foul a lot. LaMelo Ball fouled out of this game. Plumlee had 4 fouls before halftime. Terry Rozier had 5 fouls. It's just, they don't play defense and they foul, which is it's just tough. But they had a golden opportunity to win this game. Anthony Edwards twisted his ankle in the second quarter, didn't even play in the second half, and they were up by 9-10 points, double digits all through the third quarter. And then fourth quarter, it just all went away. They went through a scoring drought because they can't get easy buckets. Because they can't get easy buckets, they were shooting a lot of three-pointers, a lot of jump shots, and they just wasn't falling. So the Hornets, having only won one of their last 9 games, are really struggling going into the All-Star break. The All-Star break cannot get here soon enough. They have one more game against the Miami Heat. Hopefully they can pull that out, but I am not hopeful. There's a lot of changes that need to take place here. Cannot rely on Gordon Hayward going forward. You shouldn't have to be relying on Cody Martin and Jalen McDaniels. They were both out again today with sprained ankles. McDaniel has a sprained ankle. Cody Martin has a Achilles soreness. And Gordon Hayward is out indefinitely. It's a sprained ankle, but I believe he sprained some ligaments as well. So I'm not even expecting him back this year. Gordon Hayward is a guy that's going to give you 50 games. He's going to give you 50 games. So this thought of that he is a veteran that's going to provide you something in the playoffs, that's just not going to happen, because he's not going to make it to the playoffs. He's a good guy. He plays hard, but he just doesn't give you the value that a max player should have. And Mitch Kupchak needs to do everything he can to move off of him this year. Move off of him. And again, James Borrego, with these lineups, if you're going to lose, if you're going to be in the 10th seed in the play-in game, I can see if Charlotte was a top 6 seed, right? But they're 10th right now. They're the last spot for the play-in game. Fans expected the Hornets to be a whole lot better, but if this is what the team is going to be, you got to play the rookies. You got to see where they're at. You got to see where James Bouknight is at. You got to see where JT Thor is at. And for everything that is holy, get Kai Jones on the floor. Let's see what he got. He doesn't play at all. All he does is sit on the bench. You got to get him in the game. Get him in the game, James Borrego. What are you doing? I'm tired of hearing from him saying, oh, so-and-so is on my radar. I got to find minutes from him. And then he doesn't play him. How many times has that happened? The only time these young rookies get in is when someone gets hurt. And then his eyes is open and say, oh, so-and-so can play. Yeah, of course they can play. That's why Mitch Kupchak drafted them high. Another tough loss. Charlotte had this one against the Timberwolves and they let it get away. Defense is the path going forward. Solid game from Bridges. He had 28, though he missed some free throws down the stretch. Ball had 22, but he fouled out. And Rozier, I believe, had 26. Let me check my notes. Rozier had 25. Probably Plumlee's best game, 14, 17, and 9. Outstanding game as far as offensive stats, defense. Again, a lot of things for the Timberwolves that were going straight to the basket. The Hornets just losing their man. It's I don't know. It's very frustrating. Charlotte Hornets fans see this every single game. But something's got to change. Hornets fans, drop me a line, drop me a comment, tell me what you thought about the game. Let me know what your comments are, your thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are. what do the Hornets need to do moving forward? Because as far as I'm concerned, this season is pretty much a wrap. They may get into the playing game, but because they don't play any defense, they're going to get knocked out just like they did last year. So Hornets fans, let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk again. Take care, you two.